Hello people, so in a span of a month we've had to wait for 2 chapters of One Piece. So we finally got chapter 943, and I have to say probably if not the best chapter in Act 2 because of a number of different reasons. The hype building and the fact that Straw Hat's getting, I guess, the exposition on Smile, the artificial dollar fruits, and turning up the realization that Taniyasu actually dying, being executed. And right from the cover page, this chapter was amazing. It's definitely a live reaction worthy chapter. I did do a live reaction to this chapter. Right from the cover page with Robin, Oda has been hit a home run with Robin in these cover pages. The last color spread, she was glamorous as all hell. Before that, she was even more glamorous. And now Robin by herself. So Oda's hitting a home run. She's knitting a sweater for herself. It looks like it could be on Zoe, but she's knitting. I guess she's sewing or knitting for a tarantula, so that's kind of cool. But either way, we start off with a flashback with, I guess, the Wano Country Hakamai with Taniyasu and the rest of the retainers of the Kozuki clan members. He was talking about Odin dipping, so he already left, so we're not going to get to see what Kozuki Odin looks like. So that's going to be left for the final battle of Onigashima. And speaking of not knowing anyone's identity, we got the retainers. Raleigh, we got Kinemon, Raizo, Kanjuro, Inuyasha, Shintamaru, even Shintamaru, all the retainers of the Kozuki clan. How much younger they were looking. This is definitely in the flashback. But if you notice, even Kawamatsu in the flashback is donning the silhouette. So the silhouette express continues. So Kawamatsu's real has to be something big. I'm not gonna lie, that silhouette reminds me of a Karibo, an overgrown Karibo. Yvonne, or the God of Destruction from Universe 1, the Karibo looking God of Destruction. So that's kind of funny to me. Either way, you have Hakamai and a young Kinemon. And it's so much funny how Kinemon looks like a pre-time skip version of Frankie. But either way, he's like, do you like Odin? Of course I do. He saved my life. So we get some exposition. And the reason why this is important is because they were aware of Hakamai in the past. And while they see Yasu's lifeless body, or Hakamai, Kanjuro, Raizo, even Kawamatsu in the silhouette tearing up, Shintamaru is trying to frame himself from not breaking down, but you can tell he's feeling this as well. It makes sense. So we're still at the Ryatsu town in the File capital. Everybody's laughing and smiling because, as we get to find out, it's the adverse effects of the smile, the artificial devil fruits. Even Toko, who can't mourn a daddy's loss, but you just see Zoro with this blank expression, like he's gradually getting pissed off. He's like, if this is hell, what is it? That line just like it struck a chord with me because so is smile not just a synthetic devil fruit, and we get the exposition on what it actually means to try out these artificial devil fruits. And I've had my thoughts about this ever since we bumped into Tama. When it comes to like her discovering she has a devil fruit ability, but I'll say that as we go along. But Zoro with this expression, and he notices Orochi right away, and I thought he was good. I got the vibes from Sabi Archipelago. You remember how he just didn't give a shit and he just went straight in to attack the celestial dragon, Shalos? Well, I got the same vibes here that Zoro didn't give a. He was going to do something to Orochi. Now he may still do that because by the end of this chapter, the rest of the Straw Hats join in. In fact, this is where we get the rest of the Straw Hats. They are aware of what happened. They were too late to help out Taniyasu. And then they get exposition on the same platform in Udon Prisoner's mind. Now, I don't mind the big mom's not there yet, only because Hyogo explains to Luffy what's going on with these artificial devil fruits. And even like his reaction's the same as Zoro, whose death should be laughed at, regardless of the adverse effects of the devil fruits. Luffy's getting pissed because he's being explained what's going on. This is probably the smile fruits at work. People cannot but smile. You remember how Luffy reacted when he heard about this in Punk Hazard? When he came to Caesar? How badass he got? Multiply that by 10. Because that's what's going to happen not only to Luffy, but to Zoro and Sanji and the rest of the Straw Hats by default. So I cannot wait for them to step up. And speaking of Onigashima, we get to see Kaido drinking sake. He's like, oh, Orochi, he's one sick bastard. So, and this is where we get Shintamaru, I guess, joining the ranks of the rest of the retainers because Inuyasha Kinema, do you know of the smile fruit? He's got this pissed off expression like he's going to tell them about this artificial devil fruit. So he may end up joining them up with him after all, but Zoro still has to get back to Shisui, so that battle starts to take place. Unless Yokomaru actually shows up on Onigashima, but I suppose we should have told you about it. And then Shinobu kind of brings us more exposition on the artificial devil fruit smile when it comes to like what happened with Punk Hazard. And you can tell the rest of the strats are like troubled by this, but we get to find out there's actually waiters, gifters, and pleasures. Now we knew about the gifters and pleasures, but because of these artificial devil fruits, they have adverse effects. Mainly, they take away raw emotion. So even when they're sad or pissed off, they can't express it, but actually just smiling, which is ironic because the foreshadowing for Punk Hazard, when you look at the SAD factory, is ridiculous. Even the Strauss acknowledged, I think it was Nami that mentioned, oh, that's such a, I thought it was also such a weird name for an artificial devil fruit, but it makes sense given the negative effect that it had. So, exposition on the 10% gifters, those who receive powerful gifts are known as gifters, right? Those who can partial transform, part of the gifters. We knew about the pleasures, but they're the ones who don't really gain the powers of the devil fruit. Instead, they're just regular soldiers. And then we get 3 panels of the trio responsible for all of these events: Caesar, Kaido, and Doflamingo. So what does those 3 have in common? Luffy got pissed off at every single one of them. So like I said, multiply that by 10 when he steps up against Kaido. But he may end up controlling that angle because we saw how that worked last time. He got decimated because of it. By the way, I forgot to mention in that panel when we see Inuyasha, Kinemon, Raizo, Kanjuro, Kawamatsu, and Shitamaru, and what looks to be a lookalike of Robin. I'm pretty sure that's either Kiku or Suru. We don't really know. It could be Suru just because of the hair design, because we know Kiku is a lot taller than that. So either way, we couldn't find out that the people in Bakura Town, the town of leftovers, got fed these apples or the artificial devil fruits because they were hungry, they were starving, and you can put 2 and 2 together and figure out what happened. Now this goes back to my point about Tama. Is this how she acquired the devil fruit of Chimochi cheek fruit, right? Where she can pick up cheeks off. Unfortunately, something else that leads me to think that Tama is also involved with eating these artificial devil fruits and the way they were produced in the leftover town is, look at the volume of 91 in the One Piece manga. Look at the cover and just look at what Tama's holding. And don't you find it very symbolic of everything that's gone on right now? We haven't really got clarification, but I'm willing to bet Tama is one who ate one of these apples, and that's the reason why she has devil fruits. It's so symbolic of everything. And it would make sense if that gets revealed to Luffy. And I've been saying this before, maybe Tama has a connection with this Hyogoro. Maybe it could be possibly a grandfather or father. I said this not too long ago. It could be a possibility. Speaking of little children, we see Toko trying to revive a dead Tanayasu. It's emotional because you know he's dead and Toko can't express the real emotion. Hiyori's freaking out. Orochi notices as the rest of the class are aware that Sanji's like, that's the kid who came for the soba store. Orochi notices he's going to shoot this kid. What's messed up is she was trying to use the toad oil that Usopp gave to her, and Usopp's like, no, so that's not medicine. Orochi proceeds to down talk. If it wasn't for this little child, Komurasaki wouldn't have had to die. So you're going to get discovered? I don't know. But either way, Hiyori's just like, I don't want you to die. Run. Because they know this child's about to be shot and dead. Until the duo steps up and you got one panel saying, oh, that's him, the one that posted from the magistrate killer. And the other with Hawkins and Drake saying, oh, that's the guy from the sober vendor that stood up to the Kiyashiro clan. That means we got Zoro and Sanji, Sangoro, and Zorojiro stepping up to save Toko. And by default, in all group reunion, you see those expressions like Zoro and Sanji, the interactions of those two, we know what's up. But I expected Zoro to do something. I didn't expect Sanji to step up. And like I said, this information is going to piss off the rest of the Straw Hats. We knew how they got. when they get serious, to like get serious with Onigashima. Like, they've had fun, but now things are going to get serious, especially for the Strats. Luffy's pissed off, you can tell, but when he gets out of prison too, you can multiply that by 100 if you want. Zoro and Sanji, and especially Zoro, we know how pissed off he was. Sanji just stepping up because that's what he does. Zoro's got his swords ready to do some damage, and Sanji's lighting up with Diablo Jamba. I wonder if he's going to use the raid suit, or if he's going to save that for Onigashima. But this is going to be epic. And don't also forget that Law is also on his way to Ryatsutan because Beppo and the rest of the Heart Pirates are there. So I expect Law to make a play. Maybe the rest of the Strats will interact too. And remember how epic it was when Luffy and Zoro met, even though it was a lot more friendlier and a lot less hostile. I just want to see the interaction between these two. Sanji, you know he's going to bring up the body poster, and maybe somebody, and Bro's going to bring up the whole point about Zoro being with Hiyori. So they both have bragging rights over one another in that regard. And I love it because when it comes to Sanji, he has bragging rights over strength when it comes to like feat abilities because of his bounty. And when it comes to Zoro, we know what Sanji's main priority is with the ladies, right? Zoro has bragging rights for days about that. So he can say, I spent one night with her last, which is something Sanji cannot say. So I love how they have one thing hanging over their heads over the other. So it's just funny. Before the end of Wano Act 2, Luffy has to get out of prison because that's what it's leading to. Hyogoro and, of course, Korematsu is still silhouetted, so it has to be leading to something epic. Big Mom is on her way. I'm going to let that slide that she hasn't arrived yet, only because of the realization of Luffy. We know how he got in Pug Hazard, so to see him like this again because of Kaido and Orochi, you know how he's going to be. So I can't wait to see what Zoro Sanji do with these scrubs. But either way, those are my thoughts. Please tell me yours in the comments. That's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. A great chapter. Subscribe channel for more One Piece. Catch you guys later. Thanks, guys. Bye.